All right, all right, all right. Thank you for the 5x5. Sorry about that again. Buckman and Sarah won on Rumble. Thank you for that. I can't read. You guys can't read lips. Sorry about that. Kathy, Dobie, thank you for the 5x5. Highlander, Slim, Prep to Adapt, Supernova, Kentucky, Wide, Live Free, Strawberry, Toto, Brian, thank you for the 5x5. Groundhog, Patrice, Dana, Prepper Revelator, thank you for the 5x5. Patty, Alco Prepper, Cheap Dog, I, Krista, Cobalt, thank you for the 5x5. FUO, Raccoon, Trapper Bob, Standalone, thank you for the 5x5. Winter, Braziletti, yeah, sorry, thank you for the 5x5. Johnny, thank you for the 5x5. Strawberry, Ectate, Maria, Caribbean, thank you for the 5x5. Awakening, Donald, Mitch, Bear Lover, thank you for the 5x5. Bronx Shit, what's going on? Wisconsin, Crow, Water Tiger, Lord Dog, thank you for the 5x5. Dana, Green, thank you for the 5x5. Buster, GMA, Gregorio, thank you for the 5x5. Michigan, First and Last, Sojourner, and Mad Mama, thank you for the 5x5. All Consuming, thank you for the 5x5. Prep to Adapt, Thomas 101, Joe 59. Sarah, thank you for the 5x5. Maria, Raccoon Eyes, thank you for the 5x5. Appreciate it. All right, all right, all right. Vision Preparedness, thank you for the 5x5. Miss Nancy, thank you for the 5x5. Kenneth, Renee, and Charles, 32, thank you for the 5x5. All right, so let's get into it. I don't want this shit to be all night. I want to get this out of the way. All right, guys, so now there's something in Europe right now that's going to make its way over here. There are countries that are enacting this, and they have been actually penalizing people for what they say online for about a couple of years now. And I know England's having a problem, and I know Australia or New Zealand, one of those two, are having a problem with this as well, where cops are coming over to people's homes after they make comments online that people don't like. So if I make a comment about tiny hats and somebody in Australia or the UK doesn't like this, they can report me and the cops will visit my home and try to take me out. And a lot of the times they have talked people out of their homes. Again, so this is something called the Digital Service Act. Now, when it gets here, it's probably going to be named something different. But the Digital Service Act is a European Union regulation that aims to create a safer digital environment for users and ensures accountability among online platforms that was enacted in 2022 and updates the previous Electronic Commerce Directive from 2000. Now, I'll say this. The United States just passed a bill stating that anybody talks out against Israel can be considered or deemed anti-Semitic. Australia's been doing this since COVID. Yes, Cobalt, right. Australia's been doing this, and if I'm not mistaken, England as well. They've been doing it since COVID. But here in the United States, they passed a bill, and they called it an anti-Semitic bill. So obviously, if you talk out against Israel, not just Jews, but Israel, if you say anything bad about Israel, they can hold you accountable, or they're trying to hold you accountable. Let's see how far that goes. I don't think it's going to go far, but nonetheless, they have it in the books. All right, so key objective for the DSA, or Digital Service Act, user protection. The DSA seeks to protect the fundamental rights of online users, addressing issues like illegal content and disinformation. Now, this is more about disinformation than it is illegal content. They want to tell you that it's for the people that like to diddle kids and all this other bullshit. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do about disinformation and restricting your speech, no matter what it is, no matter what your stance is. So if and when they have a new arm ticket that comes out, we will not be able to speak out against it, because if we do, the social media platforms are going to be held accountable, and they're going to hold the citizen or civilian accountable for what they say. Platform accountability. Here we go. Establishes clear responsibility for online platforms, particularly those with significant user base, to manage content and ensure transparency. The scope and application. The DSA, or Digital Service Act, applies to various digital services, including hosting services, social networks, online marketplaces, and search engines. It's, it introduces a tiered regulatory approach with different obligations based on the size and risk level of the service. I never heard this before, but this is called Very Large Online Platform, also known as VLOP, defined as those with over 45 million monthly active users in the EU face the strictest requirement. They're talking about YouTube. YouTube has an absurd amount. YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, sorry, have an absurd amount of users. So, key provisions. Content moderation. Platform must implement effective measures to remove illegal content and provide users with clear information about content moderation decision. Transparency. Platforms are required to disclose how their algorithm works and how they handle user data. Transparency is going to be a huge issue because there are, right now, I think it's proprietary, and a lot of these places don't want their algorithm to be studied, especially YouTube, or rather Google. They don't want it. So this is going to be a big problem for YouTube and Google. Hell, even TikTok and Instagram. Though a lot of people figured out TikTok and Instagram's algorithm, and YouTube does give you some insight on how the algorithm works, especially for content creators, but they definitely don't want all of this shit out there. Users' rights enhances rights of users, including the ability to contest content removal decision and receive timely responses from platforms. That is possibly the only plus side I see to this, is that now users have a little more um, say, or a little more ability into fighting their content from being taken off. Because on YouTube, if your video is taken off, it's taken off. You can't fight it. I mean, you could, but they're really quick and short to dismiss you. Whether they're right or wrong, they don't care. They'll dismiss you just the same. So that's the only good thing about this bill, is the users' right portion of it. Now, the DSA is part of a broader EU strategy to regulate digital market and ensure fair competition alongside the Digital Market Act. Free speech has always been under attack as far as I can remember. I mean, I'm 48. I've always heard of free speech being attacked since I was a kid. I never really knew what that meant when I was a kid until I got older. And then now being on YouTube and making certain comments about things they don't like. You know, they make these weird um, accusations on what you're saying, and even if you're saying something that might not be true, granted, you know, there's certain things that should never be out there, but like flat earthers, they should never fucking be able to exist. But whatever, that's an opinion of mine. But you know, they got the platform. They're speaking in misinformation, and yet they're still on there. But it comes to, it's only when they decide what they think or deem is misinformation, or that it's harmful to their profits. If it's going to harm their profit, they're going to go after you like you wouldn't believe. But if it's not going to harm their profit, it's not even in the same realm as their profits, they don't care. But if you sit there and you go, oh, by the way, you know, such and such is making a new on ticket and you shouldn't take it because, they're going to shut you down. You know, meanwhile, you go, well, yeah, the Earth is flat. We're actually on a Trisket spinning in space, you know, and then they're like, oh, that's okay. It doesn't hurt my profit. Yep. But as of recent, they are turning up the excuses as to why they want to restrict free speech. What is said especially on social media. Trump made a comment about it being illegal for news outlets to lie about him. That's a dangerous ground because it's not so much a lie that they're lying about. It's an opinion they're making that might not be true. There are two different things between a lie and an opinion. An unpopular opinion could have people turn it into a lie. People be like, you know, Donald Trump's an asshole. He goes, that's an opinion. I don't like it, you know? And then he'd be like, that's a misinformation. It's not. It's an opinion. A lot of the things that are said by Donald Trump are opinions, and there's some things that are facts. But when a president makes a statement that it should be illegal for someone to talk bad about him, that's where the line in the sand needs to be drawn, and see whether or not he crosses it. Because he doesn't, he pop him in his fat mouth. Anyway, again, I'm not a fan of any of these politicians. All of these politicians are trying to sit here, guys, and pretend to be heroes. I can't stand it. I can't stand that these cowards, all of them, they sit in Washington D.C. from the safetyness of their office, wherever their office might be, or the Oval Office, right? And they sit there and they make these decisions while other people are putting their lives on the line. The fire department is the only department that I know where even a chief is outside, will come inside if shit's getting crazy. He'd be like, all right, I'm going to go inside, you take over. And he'll go inside and take a look to see how bad it is. Or he'll send other chiefs in there to go take a look to see how bad it is. These guys are sitting all the way in D.C. while shit is happening on the other side of the world, telling people how to behave, act, and what to do. It's bullshit. And politicians are scam artists. They're the worst. I don't care if it's Trump, Biden, Obama, Mike Boogie, Obama's husband. I don't care who it is. These people are all frauds. Every last one of them. There's not a good politician out there. And if they started out as good, they're definitely corrupted, or they were threatened by a certain manner to change their opinion or the way they behave. But anyway, now Hillary Clinton made comments about social media a long time ago, how people should be held accountable for what they say on there. Hillary Clinton said this. And then you got Donald Trump saying, well, when the news lies about me, they should be held accountable. This is people's egos that are too big to fit anywhere else, thinking that no one should talk bad about them, that everything that should be out of their mouths is good shit. This is bad news. Then you got Kash Patel, who made it clear that, I think early this year, he made it clear that the United States government should go after social media platforms for talking bad about anything in regards to the President of the United States. Kash Patel, he's such a clown. That guy's such a clown. Then you see his wife, and his wife is fucking hot. I'm like, how did this fucking clown, this dweeb, dork, nerd, this fucking 7-Eleven, Hindu, Indian, carpet flying, bug-eyed weirdo end up with such a hot chick like that? Now, granted, she's hot, but I also heard she's not a great country singer. Still, how did he land that? He looks like he's dirty all the time. I've never met such a guy. Every time he looks like Pigpen, just Hindu-y, It's bizarre. But anyway, not the point. The point is that he's another liar. He will lie. He will do whatever he's told. He's, yes, sir, boss, sir. You want me to lie about Charlie Kirk? Yes, sir. I'll eat some cornbread and lie with you, boss. That's the kind of guy he is. A yes man is like, he doesn't even come close to yes man. He's like a cocksucker man. He sucks the cock of whoever fucking tells him to do what. He's like, yes, sir, I sucks the cocks. He is a horrible dude, man. He has no backbone. Zero. That guy's backbone is made out of origami. I've never seen such bullshit. Fucking Kash Patel. Anyway. Yeah. I'm bringing a lot of old words back, but I'm bringing them back by mistake. I'm not like, I didn't mean to say dweeb, it just came out. I said something the other day, and someone was like, man, I haven't heard that one in a long time. I go, neither have I. We should just start bringing back old school terms. Just making it fun. When people are like, you can't say retard. Man, I'm going to retard the shit out of this. I said that once, and the wife was like, you can't say that. I said it outside, too. So, listen. The one thing, I guess my wife, it was too late by the time my wife found out what an asshole I was. But I'm like, you can't tell me that I can't say X, Y, and Z, because I'm going to fucking say it. And then I'm going to make it a point to say it. She's like, yeah, but we're outside. You're going to embarrass me. I'm like, you married me. So no one fucking told you that, I told you I was going to say some shit outside that was going to embarrass you. I'll say whatever I want to say. If I get in trouble for it, so be it. What are they going to do, beat me up? Anyway, people will no longer speak their minds, and this is going to cause or get a lot of people into trouble. Not to mention the problems that come along with getting in trouble and being cut off from society. So the way the World Economic Forum is looking at this is that they're going to hold us, or they're going to try to hold us accountable for the things we say. And at first, that's going to look like taking your video down or taking your channel down, whatever it is. And then you might not have a channel, but you might have a social media platform. And then you're going to carry on and say that. And then they're going to cut you off for that. But then you're going to start a website. They're going to start going after websites. There was some law that they were trying to pass to hold personal websites, like let's say theangrypepper.com. They're going to start trying to hold websites like I don't have a website, but people like me accountable for the shit we say. There was a law that they were working on a couple of years ago. I don't know where that went. I'm not sure if it went anywhere. But nonetheless, they're definitely trying to control their narrative everywhere they go. And listen, guys, they control 90% of the narrative as is. This shit that happened in D.C., there's a lot more to that story than they're telling us. Charlie Kirk getting murdered, there's a lot more to that story than they're telling us. That story is deep, and there's so many people involved. Charlie Kirk's family, parents, are ultra quiet. I think that's the more odder thing about the whole thing. We haven't heard much from that family. There's a lot more going on in the Charlie Kirk assassination. There's a lot more going on in just things around the world. The whole Epstein list, there's a lot deeper shit going on with that. Nobody wants to talk about it. They're like, we're going to vote and get it out to the public. And then something happens and they go, all right, let's see if we got the public forget about the Epstein list. Just for a couple of days. Till we figure out that we burn this fucking thing. Because they're going to play the game of the Epstein list so long, they're like, oh, we got rid of it. My cat ate it. When the dog ran out with the Epstein list and the cat scratched the rest of it. We don't know what happened. And the corrupt politicians, man. Yo, it's bad. And they're all corrupt. And we're sitting here petting their dicks. We're like, oh my God, AOC, she's such a great leader. What's that bitch's name? The drunk. Harris, Kamala Harris, that other one, right? She's gonna be a great president. No, she isn't. That bitch was fucking. She wasn't gonna be a great president, right? She was a cocksucker of all cocksuckers at best. And then you had Biden, who didn't know whether he was coming or going, and they thought he was doing a great job. Now we got Trump, who promised us the world and gave us a cracker. You know, I mean, like, again, guys, and then people are making excuses for Trump. That's the worst part about it. Every time Trump fucks up, these people are making an excuse. These people are making an excuse for Trump like they're the retarded parents of a retarded child. And they're like, well, you know, he's trying his best. You know, he's going to try hard. He's okay. He's going to do it. This is what it sounds like. Yeah, and then we got Nancy Pelosi. She, great service that she provided. No, she didn't. She's another one that should have been gone a long time ago. We're surrounded by idiots, with more idiots coming into the idiot spotlight. Now, here we are. We're following these politicians like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And we all think, oh, that these guys are good. There's a guy in my firehouse, for example. This guy's a pure drone. Pure drone. No matter what Biden says, no matter what Trump says, he will follow. Just a year ago, he's like, oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene, man, she's good. She's on a level. Then Trump motherfucked Marjorie Taylor Greene, and now he's motherfucking Marjorie Taylor Greene. And we were blowing him up in the firehouse. We were like, dude, just a couple months ago, you were saying how good she is. Now Trump says she's bad, and now you're like iron fisting her. She's bad. I was like, take Trump's dick out of your mouth for like 2 seconds. Taste the fresh air, and not his dick for a change. I'm like, my God, man. Like, everybody, they talk about, oh, Candace Owens. Oh, I don't like Candace Owens anymore. She's bad. Why? Because fucking Trump said so? Not so much Trump, the Republicans. I said, people are actually like that. They follow people because, I don't know, they don't know what else to do. They can't think on their own. They're not free thinkers. We don't have a lot of free thinkers out there anymore. It's Cajun. I don't know who that is. Is Cajun Prepper being censored in this stream? I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to go with that. I don't censor anybody. And enough people like you keep blocking my comments. I'm like, listen, you cocksucking monkey. I don't block comments on here. I don't. There are a lot of different comments on there. I don't block it. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to sit here and go block. Okay, block. I don't care. I do not care enough to block a comment. So when people ask me and be blocking a comment, just remember this: no cockless monkeys. I'm not blocking anybody on here. That's I don't know how many other ways I should say it. If I could say it in fucking Mobutuism, I'll say it. But I don't block people on here. I do not have the capacity to do it. I don't care enough to do it. You know how much work it takes to block people? I know it's a click of a button, but it's and I listen, I know that some of my moderators might, but I don't block it. I do not care enough. I really don't. You know, it is what it is. It's a comment, it's made and then it goes. Yeah, listen, there's some YouTubers on here that they're like, this guy's bothering me, this guy's bullying me. I'm like, yo, let them bully you. If you acknowledge it, that shit's on you, man. I don't get it. I don't understand that. Guys are like, oh, this guy's been stalking me. Then let him stalk. I told people before, you can stalk me all you want. Come to the block. Watch what happens next. I don't know how YouTubers end up in a position that they're getting bullied to the point that they gotta like start calling the police and all this other bullshit. I'm like, I don't get it, man. Find out where they live and break their fucking balls. It's a simple solution, man. And half of these people on here are just going to do that from a distance. Who gives a fuck? Alex Sumer, Alex, I don't know what the hell that means. Your moderators, do they hate freedom of speech or what? Marfugal sucks. I don't know much about Marfugal. I'm not a fan of him. I heard a lot of bullshit about him, but yeah. I heard a lot of bullshit about him. Like I don't know much about him other than what you people say about him. And a lot of people don't say very nice things about him. But again, I don't know. I don't care. Marfugal sounds like a disease anyway. Anybody that follows him sound. Hey, you watch Marfugal? I'm like, what is that? What is that? Gonorrhea? Fucking Chinese? What is a Marfugal? Sounds like a venereal disease. I'm actually curious now to know what that stands for. Sounds like a fucking disease. You got the Marfugal? Yes, I do. You know, that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like you should be saying. Some of the names out there. Marfugal disorder. Marfugal. Yeah, this sounds weird. Marfugal. And you know what? It sounds like a venereal disease or a psychological condition. You choose. He's the soul of a rubber. That bad, Tom? Damn. Marfugalist. Oh, YouTube censored by algorithm if you start talking about something they don't want you to talk about. Oh, that makes sense. Marfugalosis. I like that. That's a good one. Somebody on here's going to go to Marfugal like, he's making fun of your name. He's the black guy, the Negro. He's making fun of your name. Get him, Marfugal. You can't take anybody seriously that calls themselves Marfugal. You really can't. Imagine Marfugal's going to come to beat you up. Right? Imagine him walk up to me, yo, I'm Marfugal. You got a problem? Yes, your name sounds ridiculous. I need you to change it and step away from me. Marfugal. Sounds like he smells bad. Sounds like a person that smells bad, not him per se. Just sounds like someone that smells bad. It sounds like a venereal disease, a psychological condition, or someone that smells bad. Marfugal. Is that the smell of Marfugal? What is that? Like that's a bad name. Marfugal's gonna beat you up. Imagine that in the same sentence. Marfugal's going to beat you up. That'll be the day. Just sounds bad. Sounds like a nerd coming out of the Star Wars convention is gonna beat me up. That's what it sounds like. 5,000. Yes. It's just an odd name. Now I'm actually curious as to what the hell that means. Does that mean something? That just doesn't sound right. Imagine Marfugal. It's like Charlie Brown. It's like the Charlie Brown of fucking YouTube. That name, Marfugal. Huh. Um, Someone said he's a black belt. Who cares? Listen, Craig the Hunter. That black belt shit don't mean nothing. I've gotten enough fist fights with black belts and fucking beat them. And I know some martial art myself, so that doesn't mean anything. And listen, you could be an MMA fighter. I know there's a lot of guys out there. He trained MMA. Who gives a fuck? Let's get into it. If he wins, he wins. I'm not one of those guys that are afraid of getting beat up. Right? Don't get me wrong. I don't want to he's a black belt in talking Wang. I don't get me wrong. I don't want to get beat up with a pipe or something like that. But I don't mind getting into a fucking fist fight. But I'm not picking a fight with him. I'm just saying he's a black belt. That doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. They hand out black belts now in this day and age. They hand out black belts to anybody who's going to pay for it. That's what I mean. Like the nonsense I've seen with the martial art community here in the United States, at least. I don't know how it is anywhere else, but the whole belt system is a money system, right? And then on top of that, anybody can get a black belt. I've watched black belts get the shit kicked out of them in street fights, fucking get into the little stance and shit. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. Finish that sentence and watch what happens. Taekwondo, get the fuck out of here. Taekwondo is like for kids. That's good. I know some good Taekwondo guys. But they're not a lot out there, But if you've been in the system long enough, you know that it's a scam. Martial arts is a scam. You got to go to the origin of that country to learn it. The whole belt system with the white to the whole rainbow LGBT color belt system is fucking insanity. It's all about money, right? Every time you take a test, what is it, $150, $200 now? Every time you take a test. So imagine all of those belts. When I went through martial arts, there was white belt, yellow. I think it was simple. It was white, yellow. There might have been purple, brown, and then black. 5 belts. Now there's a plethora of fucking colors. There's blue, there's baby blue, there's fucking sky blue, there's turquoise, then there's purple. Then there's lavender, magenta. There's a whole, it's bad. Then there's red in there somewhere, which is a red belt. And it depends on what martial art that is. It's a high-ranking belt. Then you have black, but then you got black with the white tips on it. Then you got brown, mocha, chocolate. You got all these fucking color belts. It's insane. Is there a pink belt? No, there isn't. Is there? No. And not for nothing, most black belts won't talk about it. They'll let you know that you've been in a fight, but they're not going to sit there and be like, I'm a black belt and, hook some toy. And they're just letting you know after they whipped your ass that they were in a black belt. But I don't yet. Is there a pink belt? No, that's not a pink belt, right? They were just fucking around. And I hope there's not a pink belt. What would a pink belt consist of? Bunch of gay dudes floating around, fucking hitting each other, like smacking each other like this? What would a pink belt consist of? When are you getting your next tattoo? I don't know. Victoria's Secret models? Oh, okay. No, wait, that doesn't. I almost fell for that one. Pink belts are for Victoria's Secret models. Victoria's Secret models, man, they are fucking hot. Holy shit, man. Imagine one of you chicks being that hot. That's insane. Victoria's Secret models? They're like the hottest things on the planet. People are like, no, they're not. Yes, they are. They're the hottest things on the planet. Imagine being that hot. That's crazy. Watchman, thank you for that. Watchman said it's YouTube doing the censorship. All right. I wouldn't have known that. I'm about eating. But anyway, with that, guys, all is to say that they're going to, this DSA is coming here to the United States at some capacity. And they're definitely going to, at some way, shape, or form, start restricting our speech. Even more. They're restricting it now. They're censoring it now. But it's going to be to a point where we either land in jail or we get cut off from the system. You choose. Not sure where that's going to go. If I'm not mistaken, Michael Yeadon had mentioned that in his hour-long video that I got to finish watching. Definitely not tonight. But he definitely mentioned something about your speech being under attack and where it's going to go, and it's going to get bad. Just know, guys, that these are things that could happen. is this a guarantee? Something's our free speech restriction is definitely a guarantee. It's definitely going to get worse. That is one of the things that I can say without a doubt is going to happen. But the timeline is the issue. You know, the timeline is the issue. It's going to happen now or not. We won't know. I mean, we will know, but it's just going to take some time to get there. Anyway, other than that, I went over the half-hour mark. I'm going to go off the air now. I got to do some editing, and then I will go to sleep because I'm tired. I had a bad night last night, man. Bad night. So I'm going to make up for it tonight, I think. I don't know. Who knows? But other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it as always. I will see you guys Monday for the doubleheader. Pretty sure I'm going to do it Monday. All right. Other than that, thank you guys. Appreciate it as always. And I will see you guys in a couple of days.